Comrades and friends, this is Kukaton Liberia headquarters, a civil society movement established in 2010 that have been providing a platform, a space for national and international issues where people, including policy makers, peasants, market women, business owners, reach out to share their own view with us. So the platform have been championing the cause of democracy and the rule of law over the last 12 years. Today, we are privileged to have a media institution that will be sampling the view of some of our members here today regarding trending national issues as it relates to the statement emanating from the District 10 Mosarado County lawmaker on Yeke Koluba regarding the formation of a group he termed as the Opposition Protection Unit. So on this note, I would like to officially welcome the media entity in person of the representative here, Mr. Theo Williams. The Theo Williams, on behalf of our institution, normally when you come, we have what we call the ataye. It's an intellectual water. We use it to ensure that you are lubricated and you are welcome and you are free to sit and deliberate or listen to issues coming from the floor.
Thank you very kindly, John Dolo. It's a pleasure being here this wet Wednesday afternoon in Painesville. I don't know about other parts of the country, but all I can say to you is that Painesville is wet. It's been raining cats and dogs since morning. So let me say welcome from just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing. And welcome to Focus on Liberia Online Television. My name is Theo Williams. We are live from Painesville, specifically at the Kukatono Intellectual Center. And I'm told Kukatono means we are one. So definitely we are all Liberians. We are one. And of course, we've come to talk about Liberia, folks. And so from just wherever you are joining us, the pleasure is mine to say welcome to this live feed. Today, we thought to come out here to sample the views of the comrades regarding the recent statement made by District 10 Representative Yeka Koluba about the formation of an opposition protection unit. As you may know, that statement was greeted with mixed views. There were lots of mixed reactions regarding that statement made by District 10 Representative Yeka Koluba. And so we're here today at the center to interact with the guys and get their thoughts about the comments made by Honorable Koluba. Let me begin with the first person.
So we'll recognize if you want to make a statement, you just come to the podium and make a statement. Who will be the first? Yeah.
And so stay with us, folks,
yeah,
as the guys come out to speak to the issue. Let me take the very first gentleman. Welcome. How are you today? Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure having you on Focus on Liberia Online Television. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you today?
I'm doing very great and awesome.
I'm sure you followed recent comments made recently by Honorable Koluba of District 10. What's the take about the comments from the lawmaker where he talked about the formation of an opposition protection unit? How do you see it? Is it welcoming?
Thank you once more. Again, a comment made by the Honorable Lawmaker of District number 10 is a comment that borders on national security. So when we are discussing such comment, I think we must be able to come up with some information or facts relative to things that border on security. Now we're going to look at chapter 11, section 11.1 and 5 of the Internal Security, the Penal Law on National Security, the Penal Code on National Security of the Republic of Liberia. And we think that the statement from the representative is an issue that threatens national security because it gives no right to any individual citizen of the country to form a paramilitary group for self-protection that against the laws, and we think those kind of statements, when they are emanating from people, political actors at the eve of election, it's something that we must take seriously and will be able to front against it as Liberians. So such issues should not be taken for granted. I think now the lawmakers should be going through investigation by state security to ascertain why he came up with such a pronouncement, because we think that our security is threatened, our sovereignty is threatened as a country. So this is something that should not be taken lightly.
Honorable Coliver referenced the comments made once upon a time by His Excellency President Weah about Liberians acquiring or purchasing CCTV cameras in their homes as a means of protection. According to him, it is from that backdrop he made such pronouncement, and it was also in line with the recent July 26 violence that saw many Liberians being brutalized.
Now, when you listen to two statements, the statement that came from the president and the statement from Coliver, there's no parallelism between the two statements. That's clear. In the first place, when the president spoke, he spoke from the background where he expects citizens to be able to move and be mindful of their movement. That's the most important thing. You know, there's a law called the first law of nature. That's self-preservation. You must be able to preserve yourself as a citizen. So the president said you must be able to protect it. It doesn't mean that you must go and form a paramilitary group. That's an essence of the president's statement. Honorable Coliver's statement is clearly a contradiction to the penal code of Liberia. You cannot go and formulate a paramilitary group, then you say because the president said that we will be able to protect ourselves, this is why I'm doing this. That is wrong. That is wrong. You alone as a person, he boasted of having more than 2,000 barracks. More than 2,000 barracks. To have a 2,000 men. What's the essence? It means that there is a different motive behind his action. That's not something that we ought to be able to draw in parallel with the president's statement. That was very different.
Okay, let me also ask you about your thought about the president's pronouncement calling on Liberians to purchase CCTV cameras in their homes as a means of their own security. How do you see it as well?
We know that there's some high level of criminality going on around the country. There are some less fortunate youth who refer as Zogos who are creating chaos around the country. That's clear. So if the president asks you to purchase CCTV, it does not mean necessarily that he's just going to be going to come. The government has no means of protecting its citizens. It means that before you can be protected by state security, you have the first means of protection. That's the most important thing. The first means of protection. So if an intruder comes in your home, your CCTV order to identify who is that intruder, then the state actors can go after that person. That's from when the president spoke. But we shouldn't misconstrue the president's statement to start forming paramilitary group around the country saying that because the president said this. That's completely wrong.
Thank you very kindly. Your name again?
I'm Wa Rufus Olabo.
Rufus, it was a pleasure having you on Focus on Liberia Online Television. Folks, you're still watching. And from just wherever you are joining us, I'd love to say welcome and thanks for being with us. We are here at the Kukatonon Intellectual Center in Painesville, outside Monrovia. And like I told you earlier on, the meaning of Kukatonon is we are one. And certainly we are all one people, we are all Liberians. And this is where we cannot be deported from. This country belongs to all of us. And so let's talk to this other gentleman here, the man who welcoming to this forum. Welcome, how are you today?
Thank you. I'm happy. It's a pleasure being here. So my name is John K. Dolo. In fact, I'm on record as being one of the very first person who called for the arrest of Honorable Coliver based on that statement he made.
Why?
If you look at the Constitution, Article 42, it's very clear that a lawmaker cannot be arrested while going to or returning for session or statement he made in the chambers, but except for treason, felony, and the breach of peace. So his action to form a paramilitary group is directly a second-degree felony. So as such, it warrants his arrest, and also it is also a breach of the penal law, like bro, as the previous speaker said, chapter 11, we talk about the offenses against the state. So the form paramilitary group for protection of a political purpose and organization is squarely a violation of the law. And in context, Honorable Koloba is not just an ordinary man. Honorable Koloba has a history of war in this country. He has a history of being an ex-general in the wars, and as quoted by the U.S. Embassy in one of its releases, and also from the testimonials coming from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report on Liberia's civil crisis. So we cannot underestimate the man who is making such call to even go as far as procuring more than 2,000 plus barrels in the space of just the 26th to the 5th. That is something that warrants attention, and I'm using this medium to call on the government of Liberia, especially the Ministry of Justice, to have him arrested and brought in for questioning.
Just to hold you on that, John, Honorable Koloba has been one of those who has been championing the establishment for the War Crime Court in Liberia.
Koloba knows, everyone knows. For me, I'm also against the establishment of War Economic Crime Court at this time, because there are several reasons. Koloba knows that Liberia signed a treaty, or Liberia signed to the War Crime Court establishment, but after the 2003 war, so that means anything that happened before 2003, it does not take effect. If you establish a law, they cannot punish you who got our law in ex post facto. You cannot be judged upon something that happened before. So come on, well, all those things. So you only calling for it maybe for the future. And right now, even if you call for it already benefited from the spoils. The people are paying him back, so there's no need for. Is there a kind of chicanery you're trying to use?
Okay, so back to the statement made by Honorable Koloba during his interaction with members of the press. He said he's forming the group to protect Liberians ahead of the general and presidential election next year. So you don't need his protection?
No. The thing is, Koloba is a lawmaker. When you go to the Capitol Building, you go to make laws. There are already existing laws that call for the establishment of statutory security agencies such as the LMP, the immigration, the army, and those sections that are responsible for providing security for all political parties in this country. They have election security personnel that are attached to the various regions responsible for that. So if he feels that he feels threatened, he's on a moral obligation to call on the government to provide security for him. And also, as a lawmaker, personally, if you check a personal staff list, he is entitled to a security, and the government pay a personal security. So why is he trying to raise a false alarm or trying to intimidate people and making people think about the days of war? We have come a long way. 19 years of uninterrupted peace is something that we must think of. We cannot go back to the 14 years of civil war that was very brutal. That is why, to be honest, I'm not in support of militarizing politics in Liberia. I'm on record for immediately calling for the arrest of the CDC Council of Patriot guys who brutalized Christopher Sifidi. We cannot continue to tread on this path. In politics, we must begin to clash with ideas and policies, not with fists, not with guns. So Koloba need to be caught in immediately. That is no joking, man. I'm being serious about this, and I'm being serious about it. If the government refuses, I'm happy that the president has now called the legislature back to Capitol. I'll be putting forth a petition to the House regarding his statement, and the House need to look into it because it's a violation of the very constitution that made him to be a legislator.
Thank you, John. It was a pleasure having you on our network this wet Wednesday in Painesville. Well, we stay here at the Kukatonon Intellectual Center, where we've come to sample the views of Liberians regarding the statement made by Honorable Yeka Koloba, where he talked about the formation of the Opposition Protection Unit, something he said would protect peaceful Liberians ahead of the general and presidential election in 2023. Here comes another gentleman who is ready to speak out. Welcome, how are you? Thanks for joining us. It's good to have you on our network.
Okay. Standing before you, I'm Jose Ensmo, son of Lover County.
Welcome, Small. How are you today?
I'm great.
You listened to the statement made by Honorable Coliba, or perhaps you followed that statement made by Honorable Coliba, where he talked about the formation of an opposition protection unit. Let me ask you first of all, what's your thought on that?
Yes, you know, Liberia is for Liberian.
All right.
You know, Yeke is an honorable man and Yeke is a leader. You know, Yeke is very wrong for putting certain group of men together to say they are better staying to save the Liberian. You know, Yeke is a representative of District 10. He had a security paid by the government. What else run to a man to say he will get a 2,000 men ready for any action? You know, it's very wrong. You know, like the people say, power is very bad and it's good sometimes. The time you will leave from certain part of Lover County and spray with small perfume and can't say you want to be president, you want to be representative. You will not pass through the law. You don't know what the meaning of presidency. You don't know the meaning of representative. That's what's happening again today. You know, people just, you know, the Liberian, we are just slack on certain idea. We are missing some step when it comes to putting leader somewhere. You know, we make so many mistakes. So the problem of Yeke, it was a great mistake for District 10 people.
What do you mean mistake? He was overwhelmingly elected by the people of District 7. District 10, sorry.
District 10, no District 10. Sure.
I'm asking you, what do you mean was it was a great mistake?
Okay, just what he trying to start now by have 200 men gather and train. This man is not trained. This man is not trained. This man, I tell you, this 500 of those men cannot stay even 2 AFM men. This man is not trained. You see that? Those men are not trained. Even myself, I train 10,000 than some of those guys. Seriously.
Honorable Coliba said the force will help to protect peaceful Liberians or citizens ahead of the elections.
Okay, you know, like what I say, the Liberian, some Liberian when it comes to certain level of education, some Liberian are very eloquent when it comes to that side. And some Liberian, they are suffering from some decision, seriously. So any statement from Yeke Coliba, it just to me is a rubbish. Seriously.
Let me hold you there. Thank you very kindly. Thank you so very kindly. It was a pleasure having you on our network. Let's talk to another person here. Welcome. It's a pleasure having you on Focus on Liberia Online Television. How are you today?
Okay.
What's the name, please?
My name is Maureen Isaki, Honorable Saki.
Mr. Saki.
Yeah.
Welcome to Focus on Liberia Online Television.
Thank you.
We're talking about recent comments made by Monserrate County District 10 Representative Yeke Coliba, where he talked about the formation of an opposition protection unit ahead of the 2023 general and presidential elections. What do you make of that? Do you think his statement is welcoming?
First of all, I want to condemn that statement from the honorable man Yeke Coliba. Because Yeke Coliba, he was elected, he's a lawmaker. But the statement that coming from Yeke Coliba, for me, I will condemn it. Because to come publicly and tell Liberian people say you want to train men to protect the opposition community, for me, I condemn it. They were not right for him saying.
Why do you think it was not right?
Because he's a lawmaker. I don't think we put him there to make a decision for us, but not to say we want to train men. We had the police is responsible to protect Liberians. It's not Yeke Coliba.
So you don't see the need for a protection unit
No protection.
that, according to Honorable Coliba, will protect all Liberians ahead of the elections?
We already had the police, the national police.
You trust the police?
Trust the police.
You trust the security sector?
100%.
And you feel there is no need to have extra unit that will render protection for Liberians?
There's no need. Because the men fought the war. We don't know the next thing you have in mind.
Are you afraid?
Of course. I afraid.
But let me ask you this question. Do you think it was also prudent for the president of this country to have asked Liberians to have CCTV cameras in their homes as a means of their own security? Because it was from that backdrop Honorable Koloba made these exceptions.
But the president said that all the Liberians should have CCTV camera. It doesn't mean that Jede Koloba had a right to put a warring faction, because almost a warring faction. Because if you say you got 200 men, you don't know the motive of it. The president made a statement because like for our brother they call it Zogos. Maybe if the Zogo come here, if you have CCTV camera here, if they call any damage when they leave, that CCTV camera will be able to bring the perpetrator to justice. So they'll be able to run after them.
So you think the president call for the installation of cameras in the various homes was welcoming?
Yes.
Okay. Your name again?
Ori Isaki.
Thank you, Mr. Saki. It was a pleasure having you on Focus on Liberia this wet Wednesday. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, I'd love to say welcome. My name is Theo Williams, and of course, we are live from Painesville, specifically at the Kukatono Intellectual Center. And I love the name Kukatono because Kukatono means we are one. Welcome. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing good as well. And it feels good having you on this network. Tell us the name, please.
I'm Menso Human Bala.
Bale, how are you today?
I'm great.
What do you make of the comments from Honorable Koloba?
I stand firm with Honorable Yeke Koluba.
You support him?
I support him
Why?
because our President of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Dr. George Manen Weah, said we should be security for ourselves.
Okay.
So, for me, I feel insecure already. So, if Yeke coming up with a statement, I feel that supporting Yeke will seek my interest. Because if you as a leader who is rooting us, coming up with a statement, international community carrying it up, is that somehow disheartening for citizens of Liberia. So I stay firm with Honorable Yeke Koluba. 200 men said will be insufficient. We can even raise it to 500 because our president said we should be security on our own. So Yeke Koluba is right.
Let me ask you this question. Many Liberians have said there is no need for a formation of any force given our country history. We've had too many ugly past, and so there is no need for a formation of any opposition force or any force that will provide protection. Do you also share the same view?
For sure.
Given our country history.
Yes. Our past history, the past have nothing to do with the present.
Okay.
They are not interrelated. Past and present are not the same. So why would you compare the past with the present?
Don't you think that could spark up chaos again for us Liberians?
There's nothing that will cause chaos.
You don't think
nothing will be chaotic for us here.
You don't think if that group is formed, I mean, perhaps it could generate into something else as you approach a major election?
No, it won't generate, of course. And if anything spark up, there's nothing that will affect Liberia because the president said we should be security on our own. Can you imagine approaching or reaching around a future election into a country prior to that election and you coming out to say, oh, people should be security on their own or they should install CCTV?
Is that a bad statement from the president?
It's a bad statement from the president. I go against 100%.
Other Liberians feel the president did not speak in a wrong context. Perhaps maybe you not understand the context in which he spoke.
English have been narrated in many ways.
Thank you. It was a pleasure having you on this network. Your name again?
Menso Human Bala.
Menso Human Bala. Let me ask you one question as well before I let you go, Menso. Let's talk about the constant insult towards the president from Honorable Koloba. How do you see it? You think it's welcoming?
No, it's not welcoming. I condemn that.
Okay.
But Yeke made a statement. He said that if the follower of the president cannot give him a full respect, he himself will insult their leader because he himself is represented by our people.
So are you telling me because the followers of the president are quote-unquote insulting Honorable Koloba, so you should divert his insult to the president of the country? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, but that's how he feels.
So you're against his constant insult towards the president,
Yes,
but you
because-
support his formation of opposition protection unit.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Your name again?
Menso Yima Bala.
Thank you, Menso. It was a pleasure having you on this network. And so we want to leave you at this point, folks. It's been a wonderful time, a very short interview, but I'm sure it was quite rewarding. You listen to Liberians here at this particular intellectual center. We add to recent comments made by Honorable Yeka Koluba. And so it's been a wonderful time, like I told you, watching us. Thank you ever so much. We'll do this sometime again. We'll find some time to come here, perhaps. We'll talk about other issues affecting Liberia, folks. Until then, thank you ever so much for being with us, and do have yourselves a wonderful time from Painesville, outside Monrovia.